stress starts with the physical presentation, with the rapid heart rate and all of those things that you feel physically. And many people over time have developed some coping mechanisms to deal with that. When those coping mechanisms aren't enough, then it results in things like anxiety or panic attacks or feelings of physical, I feel like I'm having a heart attack, and things like that will actually bring them into the doctor's office.
We know that anxiety results in all kinds of physical conditions like headaches and upset stomach and muscle tension. And that's a little, light bulb moment for a lot of people when you're saying, the underlying theme here could be that you've been struggling for a while with all of these stressors, and it's popping up in these ways in your body, these chronic headaches, this upset stomach. I think the underlying, the unifying root here is, anxiety or depression, and people are varying degrees of receptive to that.
How so?
Unfortunately, there's still a lot of stigma around mental illness. And I think sometimes people are more ready to accept that I have IBS as opposed to I have anxiety that's causing IBS-like symptoms.
It's protective. It's there to take care of us. But when it gets out of control, it's something that we need to learn skills to navigate. But I think it's really important to know that there's a strong brain-body connection with anxiety. It's a physical reaction.
In adults, we see a lot of muscle tension and fatigue and headaches and a sense of restlessness too. Like I can't settle and relax. I have to be doing something. In kiddos, we see a lot of upset stomach and just kind of nebulous complaints. Just I don't feel good. And I think that's because anxiety is hard to explain. Even me, if you said, hey, tell me what anxiety is, it's a hard concept to explain. So for kiddos, it's just, I don't feel good. Something's off. When your anxiety is getting in the way of your ability to sleep, you just can't stop running your list in your head at night, or you're thinking about that one thing that you said in 4th grade and you just can't let it go. Or you wake up in the middle of the night after having been asleep for a while and you're just awake and your mind is on and you can't shut it back off. That could be anxiety. Anxiety also interferes with our ability to function and feel like you can make decisions.
Sometimes when you have a lot of anxiety, you feel so dumb because you're like, I know this isn't a big deal, but I can't feel different than I feel right now. A lot of the reason that is because the part of our brain that could help us process through it isn't working as well when we're anxious. There's a weakened connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. And the front part of our brain that is bigger in humans than anyone else, we have that part of the brain so we can have logic and reasoning and figure out what to do in stressful situations. The more elevated our anxiety is, the weaker that connection is. And so it's really hard to plan your way out of it, to think your way out of it, because that connection is weakened.
One of the things that we like to look at is looking at the L's. We call them the L's in someone's life. Being sad, that's a normal human emotion. Being worried, that's a normal human emotion as well. But when those things start affecting those L's in your life, your ability to live, laugh, learn, love, or cause legal issues, that's when you're starting to be like, hey, this might be a little bit more serious.
Nervousness and a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom are among the symptoms of anxiety.